You're a DJ.
Hey, bro. I don't know if I could wear that title yet. There's a couple titles. I'm under. Aspiration. Go ahead.
I'll tell you, G. Like titles are such a funny thing, right? And like titles and imposter syndrome are next to each other. Like recently, we were updating our LinkedIn page, right? And so I had a conversation with my sister, and I was like, "Is philanthropist the right word to use when it comes to work that people do?" Bro, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right writing philanthropist. So I ended up settling with the term activist. Literally asked it 3 times. I was like, "Oh, am I philanthropist? Are we philanthropists?" She's like, yeah, but it speaks to not wanting to associate yourself with titles, despite how true or not true that they might be and relevant to you. Because you are a DJ. You mix, you make sets, you have a DJ set.
Hey, bro. I think, all right, so what I'm going to do is I love that. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to lay out some of the titles that give me imposter syndrome. Then I want you to talk about who you are, the work that you do, and maybe some of the titles that give you imposter syndrome.
For sure.
I am aspiring forward. So some of my aspirations.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, damn, we got Siri.
Yo, I'm trying to get Siri. Siri trying to join in on this too.
Hey, bro. That's how you know it's hot, bro. They listen. Hey, shout out our FBI agents in the background too.
Imposter syndrome. Let's listen up.
Yeah, but all right. So yeah, my aspirational titles: DJ. I think activist / organizer. I think those are nuancedly different things, and I'm trying to figure out, where I might fall between those things. I do aim to be a philanthropist one day, so maybe we can add that to the LinkedIn at the same time. Yeah, man, and human first. Wait, black man first, human second, or something like that.
Depending on who you ask.
It's not matter.
Depending on who you ask.
That's an important part of my identity right now. Has always been, but it's an important part of my identity to say.
Right now.
And I'm an ally of women. I'm trying to be a better ally of the queer and transgender community every day. Yeah,
Look at you pandering.
Hey, bro. But aspirational pandering, you know what I'm saying?
Aspirational pandering.
Hey, bro.
So which titles then give you imposter syndrome? That either you've been called or that you do not like to recognize in yourself?
We ain't gonna get away from your introductions too far, but I think I wouldn't consider myself a DJ yet, especially in this time, what that means, especially online, right? So like, it's something I've worked on during COVID, during quarantine and all that, but I think until I get it together enough so I can navigate live sets in this day of streaming and licensing, or start performing live in some capacity, I don't want to call myself a DJ. That gives me imposter syndrome. Activist and organizer is really hard because there's so many. When I hear that, there's so many people who've done such amazing things, completed so many projects that I've witnessed and been a part of. But I shy away from that, even though I want that. I'm working towards it. But yeah, that's what I would say.
And that's it. Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna watch this segue. Watch my segue. You feel me? But I was just gonna say, like, in terms of the whole imposter syndrome portion of it, it's like I think we always set like an interesting barometer for us to qualify once we've reached that place. And the funny thing is, it's like the higher you get to it, the higher that barometer keeps on going up. So it's gonna be like, all right, I want to be, if I'm only a DJ if I'm doing live sets, and then it's like, okay, I'm a live set DJ, but I want to be a live set DJ. All to say that I feel definitely the same way about some of the titles that I'll speak on, but I'm checking in with nothing but positivity, gratitude, excitement. The fact that my week ends with me getting to talk to my brother and going on this journey of forming a community to me is an absolute blessing. So that's the energy I come with. Who I am, I'm an entrepreneur. I am a activist. I am a foundation co-owner. I'm a black man. I'm a free black man. And when we come to things that like when we come to titles that make me uncomfortable, definitely philanthropist didn't sit well with me. So I ended up changing philanthropist for activist, you know? And I do definitely think that with the work that we do, a lot of the work that I do definitely, you know, centers around being able to provide financial literacy products and services to disenfranchised people, running a foundation that looks to put solar computer labs into public schools in Africa that don't have access to those types of things. And so, you know, that to me is activism. That to me is that's my protest to the system, is to say, okay, as we've been told that there's only one way for capitalism to allow you to thrive as a person, and that way tends to be opposite directions of how to help people. And I am protesting that notion with that you can definitely meet those two things in the middle and do it for causes that are furthering Black people and Black youth in particular. So Harambe.
Hey, yo, yes, Black capitalism is for sure an episode all on its own.
Definitely.
We will pick that and many other things apart. But yeah, man.
Successful. That's a title that's a title that's difficult to, that's a title that gives me imposter syndrome. Successful is something that gives me imposter syndrome.
I feel that. Elaborate on that.
It's because I think everyone's definition of success is very subjective. I think everyone's term is very subjective, and so everyone holds a unique understanding of what success would mean to them, but then a very superficial criteria of what success looks like on other people. And so people will then be very liberal in being able to extend that accolade to somebody, even though if they were in the same position, they still wouldn't be able to consider themselves successful. So it could be, an insecurity, whatever you want to call it, but that's definitely a term I struggle with. But I definitely, that's what we're working towards. That's the goal, is to be successful in our endeavors.
Well, I'm getting, you may struggle with these terms, but I'm getting successful and philanthropic vibes from you, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise, brother. Likewise.
But so this is beautiful, man, because you touched on some things that I think allow me to kind of extend this conversation and continue to use this episode to like add context to what we do. So why don't you say a little bit more just about where you're at, where you're from, and then from what you said, I feel like, a lot of that has been centered around your community, your people, giving back. Right, so why don't you tell us where you're from, tell us where you're at, tell us what's going on there, just in terms of some of the issues, some of the beautiful things, and then cap it off with what does success mean to you? You know what I mean? It means different things to different people, but what does success mean to you in that space and beyond?
Reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa right now. So, South African. Second home is Southside Chicago. So I'm, being exposed to and around poverty and struggle is something that I've been fortunate enough to experience in different cities and in different parts of the world. So I think inevitably, if you're privileged enough to be able to join the corporate sphere and to be a part of that whole thing, it's either you'll strive to excel in the corporate world, or you'll realize that maybe this is not necessarily for you and try to do things that are outside of that, And I think that we have been fortunate in the sense that we have bonded over our journey of being able to give back to our community started at the same time. So I consider that a privilege, and the issues are quite similar around the world, right? So, and I don't want to speak on what the issues are in Southside Chicago because I do think that you're more well versed to do that. But if we talk about just like Black issues around the world, right? If we talk about South Africa, our number one or one of the highest issues and should be rated number one is gender-based violence against our women. Our women are consistently being raped, murdered, and attacked at rates that are significantly higher than anywhere else in the world. You speak to women in South Africa, they'll let you know just the difficulty that comes in being a woman over here. But I don't want that to also overshadow the fact that South Africa is a place with some very, very serious creatives and entrepreneurial minds and spirits and intellectuals, young Black intellectuals. And I do really think that South Africa is the closest thing we have to Wakanda anywhere, which is pretty fly to me.